everybody, Heather here. Martinsville Soapworks. If you don't know me, hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. This was supposed to be an Instagram live and I didn't have a very good connection for Instagram, so that's why I decided to put it on YouTube so that everybody could still see it. So today I'm going to be cutting a test batch of soap that I did, that I made yesterday. I talked about it on my Instagram, Facebook feeds. So let me show it to you. Here it is. Now, if you saw it on Facebook, you will notice, or Instagram, you'll notice yesterday it was white. Today it's not. Today it's this kind of ivory color. And that's because it has vanilla in it. It has a relatively high percent, about 4.5% vanilla in it from what I recall. Anything with vanilla or vanillin in it is going to turn the soap tan to brown. If you've ever seen my vanilla custard soap, it is almost black because vanilla. So this one is from the manufacturer. It's called White Woods. It's sweet. When I first bought it, the original thing said back up. This one's called White Woods. When I first got a sample of it, the reviews there was only one review on it, and they said it smells like butterscotch, and I'm like, butterscotch? Okay, well it says White Woods, but it says butterscotch, so I'm gonna give it a try anyway. And it is really sweet out of the bottle. It is a really sweet fragrance oil, and it doesn't really smell like butterscotch. It smells like sweet wood. Now, my grandfather was a woodworker. My husband is a woodworker. I know what wood smells like. It doesn't smell like butterscotch, but it doesn't really smell like wood. It's kind of a weird one. So we're going to test it out. We're going to see. And then eventually, once it's ready in 4 weeks, once it goes done on the curing rack and it's done in 4 weeks, then you'll get to try it and you can tell me what it smells like. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to get it out of the mold. Turn that back down over here. I apologize for the weird angles. I wasn't planning on shooting. Oh, it's really stuck. I wasn't planning on shooting a YouTube video today because, yes, I've been planning the YouTube channel for probably a year at this point. And the hardest part is the photography, because I'm not the photographer in the family. My husband is. If you're on Facebook, you might recognize his stuff. I've had it here in the store. His name on Facebook and Instagram is CK Photographic Systems, or CK Photosys on Insta. I'm the one that keeps him humble, but he really is a really good photographer. And if you like nature photography, if you like sports photography, he does a lot with Queen City Roller Girls. He's shot bands. He's done a lot of photography for Nerds Gone Wild. He's done photography for Great Cliff, which is one of our favorite places to be. So, taking the freezer paper off. This is so we can get it out of the wood mold. And this doesn't have, the only colorant in this is titanium dioxide, which is in the vein. Other than that, there's no other colorant in it at all. That's the actual color of the soap. And like I said yesterday, I'll put the picture up so you can see that what it looked like yesterday when I put it in the mold. And it's just, that's what soap does. It changes color. So I'm going to flip the camera around now and actually make another video clip because I can. So I'm going to flip the camera around and you can watch a cut. Okay, so I have attached my phone to my big cutter, and I'm gonna lift this up. Watch the camera fall over. Watch the camera flop. Yeah, we'll have to readjust because it's going way over there, knocking everything, because there's a shelf. You can't see the shelf. That's everything on the shelf getting knocked over. Okay. Soap into the block. Hopefully you can still see it, because I can't see from here. Just that tiny bit. Hopefully it's still in the right aspect ratio. Oh, still 16 to 9. Hopefully. Okay. And then we cut. Because we can only do this once. This one is a little dense. There we go. Especially with new fragrances. One more. There we go. Especially with new fragrances, I like to go really slow when I'm cutting because otherwise I will break a wire and it takes forever to cut the wires, put the wires in, and I don't like doing it. In case you're wondering, this crack, the soap tends to crack sometimes on the top, especially it's because it heats up while it's, after I put it in the mold, it heats up. Soap making is an exothermic reaction. It generates its own heat. This one I think in particular cracked because while I was, I had already put it in the mold, and then while I was shooting the pictures for Instagram, because I wanted a good picture to show you what the color difference was, I sprayed it again with the isopropyl, and I think that cooled off the top, and all of a sudden, because like within like a minute of me doing that, it cracked. So that's what the crack is. That's just from expansion from the heat. So take this out. And yeah, this is going to turn darker because you can see, if you look, right here is where the crack was, and that's a darker color. So that probably is what it's going to end up, the color it's probably ending up being. Okay, so let's take these out, set them aside. It's always really interesting how it ends up in the mold, because I don't control any of that. And you can see where the titanium dioxide was. If you look here, this is this part where there's no titanium dioxide. Actually, it looks a little more translucent than the parts with the titanium dioxide. So that's always super interesting. So those are all done. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move the camera again over to my 1-inch cutter. Okay, so here is my 1-inch cutter. It's very squeaky. It's very squeaky because it's a big long piano hinge on the end. Piano hinge. There, piano hinge. It's very squeaky. This is my creaky old lady. Reminds me of my knees in the morning. Except my knees pop more than crack, more than creak. So, yeah. And yes, they are guitar wires. Because that's kind of just what everybody uses in their soap cutters, is guitar wires. So, sorry, I'm sniffing the soap. The problem becomes what it smells like right now isn't necessarily what it's going to smell like in a month. Some of the other soaps that are like the most popular soaps that I make, that's an issue with those too. The oatmeal milk and honey smells terrible. Terrible. When I make it 4 weeks, perfectly fine. I don't know, it's the oatmeal, it's the lye combining with the oatmeal, and it just does weird things. The lavender and goat's milk, the next day, it smells like nothing but goat milk. You can't smell the lavender. You can't smell anything. The worst is the elderberry, the wild elderberry, which I know a lot of you love. That's the one that kind of the oatmeal milk and honey and the wild elderberry are the two most popular soaps. They kind of flip-flop. That elderberry, when I take it out of the mold the next day, it smells like perm solution. Perm solution. It's terrible. Talia won't even cut it. She will refuse, my daughter will refuse to come in and cut soap. She's like, is it elderberry? Because I'm not cutting elderberry because I can't stand the smell. It smells like a salon and I can't stand it. I'm like, okay. So she doesn't cut that. Okay, got the soap all cut. Now we're gonna stamp. Okay, I'm gonna try this above view for this kind of angled above view for a little bit and see if I like that. Yeah, playing with my light. Sun and shadow. Okay, so now we lay the soap out on the counter for stamping. I do stamp all my soaps. These soaps, obviously with my what I consider my secondary logo because it doesn't have my business name. I keep hitting everything with my nails. And it took me I planned a soap stamp for like 15 years, 14, like 12 years before I actually got a stamp because I didn't know what to put on it. And I did change my name when I opened up the store here. I was Martinsville Emporium for many, many, many years. And then when I opened up on Webster, I did change the name to Martinsville Soapworks. And that was actually, I was planning on changing the name before I even decided I was going to open up here. So this is my stamp. It's dirty because I already did a batch earlier. I did the other batch. I did the Mount Fuji batch, which you can see that video on my Facebook page, Martinsville Soapworks. Facebook.com/Martinsville Soapworks, blah, blah, blah. The best thing about having a round stamp that's kind of like designed to be like a rubber stamp is that you don't have to be super careful about, I don't have to be like, okay, I gotta line it up here, I gotta line it up there, and then I whack it. No, I just kind of put it at a slight angle and try to get it into the middle of the bar. You have to hit it hard enough to imprint it, but not hard enough to smush the soap. Because you can, if you whack it really hard, it will like, and then it won't sit flat. And then I hold it down with that. So if you ever see a little circular indent on the side or the corner of your soap, that's where I dropped the mallet too hard onto it and I dented it. So that's what that is. So that's that. Now these will go, turn this up a little bit. So that's that. Now what I do is these go onto the rack and they will cure for 4 weeks. Mostly 4 weeks. Sometimes stuff goes out a little early. 4 weeks is really how much soap needs to properly cure. It is a crystalline structure. So it has a structure that's like a crystal, and it's not all, even bar soap is not all solid. Some of it is actually still a liquid. And that's the glycerin. When you make soap, you take oils, you take lye, you mix them together, you get 3 parts soap and about 1 part glycerin. All handmade soaps are about 25% glycerin. So that glycerin is a liquid. So while it's curing, not only is it losing weight, it's losing water weight. Each bar of soap is losing about 1/2 ounce of water weight during the 4-week cure process. It's also entrapping the glycerin in the crystalline structure of the soap, and that will help it lather better. That will help the glycerin draw moisture to your skin, which is one of the reasons why handmade soap is better for your skin, because it allows moisture to actually, be on your skin and keep it from getting all dried out. So that's why I really like to keep stuff, make sure that it's all cured after 4 weeks. I'll admit, sometimes that doesn't happen, especially when, everybody's like, hey, where's the soap? Let's be happy I don't make bourbon that takes 10 years. Or anything else that takes, cheese that takes like a year or something like that. So these are gonna go up on the rack
These are actually going to go on my new racks, which I'll show you eventually. Once I get some soap on them, right now they have candle jars on them because we needed the boxes. So that's it for now. This is going to be my first YouTube video. Not the YouTube video I wanted to put up first, but like I said, this came about because I was going to do an Instagram live today, and that didn't work out because my phone was like, no, your connection isn't strong enough. I'm like, okay. So anyway, welcome to my YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to hit the bell for notifications, all that stuff. If you watch a lot of YouTubers, do all the things that they tell you to do so that you'll know when I post new videos. I am going to be posting videos on here, probably not for a couple weeks at least. We do have some things in the works. When you're married to a photographer, sometimes things have to be a little more complicated than they are. I don't want to blame all that on him. Some of it is me. But anyway, thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.